Hello, everyone. This is Daryl, Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. We've been following, as we may, the ongoing battle in Israel and Ukraine, of course, and every place in this world. And here we sit in the 21st century where we're still killing each other. That to me, and now we've actually have an art to killing. It's so much easier with a missile, a bomb, etc. So I am Daryl Guberman. I'm the CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. I'm also Jewish, just to let you know. And I have watched Israel erode for many years. Several years ago, I sent 65 members of the Knesset an email warning them about the infiltration of China. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, and those of you who are watching me, the Chinese took Raytheon to task because they make the Patriot missile, and also I think they helped Israel design and develop the Sling of David and the Iron Dome, which were all taken by China, and I tried to warn them. I even had Benjamin Netanyahu's personal supposed email address. It never got bounced back, so I'm sure something got through. Out of the 65 people that I had privy to their email, none of them responded. I got out of the office emails back. I got, probably out of the 65, I think 4 or 5 of them got kicked back as being a non-working email address. But I wanted to play this for you because this video today is about the lab of Israel, per Benjamin Netanyahu, possibly caused lack of Semper Paratus with the Hamas invasion, because brain fog causes you to react not as swiftly as if I'm sure many of you back when you were a kid or something, and you're very tired, you can't even multiply 2 plus 2 together. This video today is in no way anywhere near disgracing anyone other than Benjamin Netanyahu, who said, and I'll let him talk because I want to keep this short. The crux of the data concerning brain fog and all that will be down below the video. I want you to hear this. We have a special guest as well, Albert Bourla, who assisted in this tragedy. And it is a tragedy indeed when you're forced into taking a vaccine that was not tested under contraindications of what you're already taking. And in fact, Benjamin Netanyahu states it in this audio file. So I'm going to let you listen to this, and then we're going to call it quits. I wanted it to be short and brief. And ladies and gentlemen, I do this because there's a special saying in Hebrew, tiku olam, illuminating the world. And this is what I try to do. But maybe you've got brain fog and you're not comprehending it. Let me let Benjamin Netanyahu talk about how he used the Israelis as a lab for Pfizer, because Pfizer did not test it. That's why it takes 10 to 15 years. Don't let anybody kid you. Daryl, you know what you're talking about. I am no doctor. I will tell you the truth. I'm not. I'm a quality control guy. I had 40 plus years in this business, aerospace, medical implants, medical materials, printing, and plastic distribution, where we dealt with all the industries. But I want you to listen to Benjamin Netanyahu, in his own words, explain how he used the Israelis as lab rats, basically, as a laboratory, because they had 98% of the Israelis have a card that all their, sicknesses, illnesses, medications that they're on. And it was a beautiful petri dish for Pfizer. And here, without any further ado, is Benjamin Netanyahu.
Detailed plans, but they are detailed in my mind. We came out of COVID first. I described that in my book, Conversations with Albert Bourla at Pfizer. And I persuaded him to give tiny Israel the necessary vaccines to get us out first from the COVID. And the reason I could do that is because we have a database, 98%, a medical database, 98% of our population has digitized medical records and little card And anywhere you go in any hospital in Israel, north, south, doesn't make any difference. Boom, you punch it in, and you know everything about this patient for the last 20 years. I said, we'll use that to tell you whether these vaccines, what do they do to people, not individual people, not with their individual identities, but statistically, what does it do to people with, meningitis? What does it do to people with high blood pressure? What is it? You want to know that. So Israel became, if you will, the lab for Pfizer, and that's how we did it.
So what I did is when it became a lab for Pfizer, as you heard the Prime Minister talk, we've been doing a lot of research on the manipulation of the COVID virus in the laboratory, from DARPA to Harvard and out to Wuhan and Fauci and all the rest of this mess. But when Benjamin Netanyahu said that he was using the Israeli people as a petri dish, as a laboratory, because of blood pressure medicine, tuberculosis, they're on chemotherapy, etc. But the vaccine itself was not tested on the contraindications. How that, when they inject you, how it affects your body. Don't get me wrong. They can't test everything, but it takes 10 years for them to get the major medications out of the way so that there's no interaction, so nobody's per se dying. There's always a chance of it. Don't get me wrong, allergic reactions, etc. But they rushed this thing out. And Benjamin Netanyahu used his people. So I developed the factor. It's a hypothesis now only about brain fog. When people are under stress, it's enough that your adrenaline is flowing and that gives you brain fog. It is doubly worse if you actually have brain fog from the medication, which I spoke to a friend of mine, and several of them are doctors in New York. I was there the other day. And I will say this. When you have the adrenaline running and you have this functional possible brain fog from that COVID shot, then we have problems. So I leave it here. The rest of the data is down below this video about the interrelationships between the American National Standards Institute, the American National Crediting Board, who ANSI took over complete control in 2018. I also have the factor that those two organizations, which is now one organization, but they keep them two, ANSI, ANAP, are underwriters for the International Accreditation Form incorporated in Delaware, which is a repository for all these national and international accreditation bodies. I was asked to join in 2016. I refused because who was watching over the IF but a communist Chinese national? And he was there between 2015 and 21. You also have the factor that they are underwriters for ILAC, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation in Australia. And I will tell you something off the record. This has a lot to do with what we're doing here, but you have Iran and Pakistan sitting on an American company like the IAF in America. You have Pakistan and Iran. And I'm not saying this about the people, I'm saying this about the leadership. They are equivalent in accreditation to ANSI, ANAP. Just like all the accreditation bodies that sit on the IAF. The problem is that they do not allow Iran, from what I've gathered, on ILAC, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation. Yet the IAF doesn't allow Israel on board. And that's an American company. We're supposed to be allies. Yet on ILAC, they don't allow Iran. And quality is not about this political crap. It's about making a product better, making it safe, and being able to assist not adults, but the children. Laboratory accreditation is in the shitter. I've done that before. I am not going to go into detail because the videos start to be 20, 30 minutes long. But there is going to be a featured article coming out in England very shortly concerning manufacturing, how those of you who are accredited through ANSI, ANAP, or others that sit on the IAF like UKAS and all the rest of that, have a certificate that is worthless, and we prove that. You will find the manufacturing video on our YouTube channel. Go there, Daryl Guberman, Guberman, and you will find almost 300 videos. At one time we had 3,000. We are going to stop here, okay? I don't want to ramble on, but this video today is about the lab of Israel, per Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, possibly caused lack of Semper Paratus with Hamas invasion. And it is only a hypothesis. It is a shame what is going on there after all these years. We're in the 21st century and we're still killing each other. What kind of crap is this? And it's not just there, it's all over the world. We found better ways as human beings, okay? We found better ways of human beings to kill each other. But I'm going to tell you something that Albert Einstein said, and this goes to you business owners. You business owners who say, I'm going to take the road of least resistance when it comes to your certifications. And I could see many take the road of least resistance when you have Pfizer, who made the COVID vaccine, skip quality processes and standards. While you have Albert Bourla saying on his interview, you'll find it throughout my YouTube channel, that he said this was made under great quality processes, it was made in the sun. And you find out that they skip quality process, they sit on ANSI. All of these companies I'm going to mention now sit on ANSI. Everything ANSI ANAP touches turns to shit. And that's a quality term. Pfizer skips quality processes and standards. Johnson & Johnson missed quality standards and processes. They had to recall 75 million vials for contamination. You have Boeing that fudged documentation. In fact, in 2002, they came out with a procurement announcement that said, listen, if you're AS9100, that's a certification for aerospace. If you're AS9100, just send us your products. We don't need to audit you anymore. We take your registrar as a viable form of our own inspection, basically. And in 2009, the FAA seceded inspection to Boeing so that they could design, develop, build, and fly, and do flight worthiness, I guess, on the 737 MAX, more than likely 757, 777, 787. That's why there's quality issues there. You also have Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin, unbelievable. After their 801st F-35, they're still having quality issues up to and including loss of aircraft and loss of pilot. I do this again to illuminate you, for that is my job, to illuminate you, whether you like it or not. And I would not disparage my family name. And I leave it here. But as Albert Einstein said, and I'm going to tell you this, he said that evil men will not be the destruction of the world. It is those good men that remain silent. Just remember that. 203-556-1493 or Daryl, DARYL, TQRS @yahoo.com. I thank you.